Good morning. Welcome to Urban Agoge, week 20, day 5. This is about as much exercise as I feel up to. The river's considerably calmer, not as much silt in it. Our LGR Lucky Rock. Whoop. Let's just turn that around. Oh. The gimbal not playing ball this morning. As I break the law of vlogging by not looking into the camera, but largely because I don't want to face plant on the ground. As another day dawns. Yeah, it's one of those mornings where I'm feeling pretty disaffected by the rest of my species. I just keep seeing instances of people just being, you know, untactically lazy. Just everywhere you look. Now, I'm a big believer in laziness. I'm a big believer in laziness basically being the idiot's word for efficiency. As, you know, like the Heinlein quote, you know, progress is not made by diligent men who wake up every morning and go to work and come home. Those people don't make progress. And there's a place in the world for somebody that can see that things could be done a more efficient way. And that's one kind of laziness, the laziness of which I approve. The laziness that leads to all invention, often called necessity. But, let's have a wander over here, see if there's anything interesting. But it really bothers me when people are untactically lazy. You know, they're lazy in a way that generates more work for themselves or others. And you're just like, oh, come on, people. Is this really the pinnacle of human evolution? And it's that kind of laziness that means that people don't watch what, you know, unscrupulous beings or corporations are doing. And the corporation is essentially an unscrupulous being, you know, a paperwork AI brought into being. You know, the thing that Douglas Adams talked about when he was referring to Vogons, as in a Vogon wouldn't even lift a finger to help its own grandmother escape the bug bladder beast of trial unless those orders were filled in triplicate, sent out, sent back, corrected, lost, found, you know, deposited in a deep dark recess of filing cabinets and then composted for firelighters until finally sent back. You know, it's that. It's the inability to try and creatively solve a problem. You know, you work inside a large enough organisation for long enough and you just sort of go along with the way it's done. Don't try anything new. You know, it's like we're not supposed to live this way. Like, this is the reason we're not going to have the Federation Society, because it'll be so much fun to live in. You know, we have to mindlessly do all this stuff. You know, our own lives are so amazingly dull that, you know, on the whole, we seek new shared experiences, like we go to dinner. We pay enormous amounts of money, which is enormous amounts of our work time, just to pay for one meal that we could easily cook better ourselves. I just get tired of the whole thing, all the actual reasons for things being broken are just so pitiful. So yeah, it's hard to deal with sometimes. But the thing that keeps me going is that piteousness of the human race when it comes to acting decently. The thing that will ultimately destroy us. You know, the monstrous mechanism of humankind, when you put too many of them in one place, leaves gaps for us. And I think that's what I'd say would be the takeaway from this episode. It's sort of like, look for the gaps. And just so many problems in the world caused by laziness. The laziness of pattern recognition. Now, I was talking to two people last night, albeit very briefly, who were convinced that a building was haunted. You know, and it's just pattern recognition and fear of death. And because we've got that pattern recognition and fear of death, you know, through old age, you know, obviously fear of being killed in a way that is earlier than is necessary is a hassle. But you can't just go, oh right, I've got a limited amount of time. I think that's why people don't talk about it. That's why atheists get so much heat. You know, because if you've got people running around saying, look, we've got a limited time, we'd best be doing interesting stuff with it. People don't want to hear that, because it necessitates them going, well, what would I do that was interesting? And that's kind of depressing. So yeah, it's all very broken, but because it's broken, people in positions of, in inverted commas, authority over us aren't looking at the gaps. That's as happy and upbeat as I can be today. The unsupervised gaps of the world, where people go out and do bushcrafting, or go to the rifle range, or do unusual hobbies, you know, that maybe will not meet with the approval of the broader parts of society. You know, go do that. Learn a skill, even if you're not going to use it. I mean, prioritise skills that are going to be actually useful to you. Maybe if we can build up enough of these pockets of happiness that exist outside of what's been laid down for you, we can join those up. And that's pretty much all you can do. The Vogons are real, they're out there doing stuff. It's yeah. Let's have another instance of me seeing a kingfisher and not filming it. Although I must have been out into these woods hundreds of times now. I've only seen the kingfisher about 2 or 3 times out of that. Be nice to get it on camera, but maybe not today. But yeah. So there is a way around it. Of course, you've got to be certain that you're not breaking the law. Just, you know, Brexit marches closer. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So sphagnum moss all over this thing. What you're wanting though really is the moss that's on the ground or on rocks. So yeah, just even getting relatively far away from other humans is a good thing, you know, just so you can think clearly. Oh, people. I went back on a dating app. I haven't had a partner for a while, and you know, it seemed more proactive thing to do, but actually it just ended up making me more depressed. It's just one of those things where you just think, no, I would rather be on my own. I mean, that's perhaps the irony, you know. I would happily go out with someone that would be happy on their own, rather than just settle for someone. Just for future updates, if you put bubbly on your dating profile, anybody with any sense is going to swipe left. It's a horrendous word. It's a horrendous term for someone, and a terrible way to describe yourself. A bubble has nothing inside. Bubbly implies there's nothing in your head, which is a terrible, terrible thing. What a waste of a human existence, finite as they are. So yeah, I suppose I am looking at a self-selecting group of people. Are you those people that think that it's a good idea to put all your details and everything about yourself online? We've got all the power of communications and technology and calculation. We can do amazing stuff. We have access to information on a scale never before seen in the world. And what do we do with it? Facebook. And if I was a bit smarter, I would have probably invented Facebook. Yeah, look, those are all the idiots. It's a terrible concept. And not being on Facebook, weirdly, has turned into the new I don't have a television. People look at you real weird. That would be the next thing I would recommend. Well, I have recommended it several times in the past. Get rid of your television. You know, some people say, oh, but I've got kids. It's like, especially if you've got children. You should definitely not do television if you've got children. It's a horrendous idea. Makes me shudder just thinking about it. And the downside of not having a television is that when you are exposed to television, it's really hard to concentrate. But it has become, you know, that was another thing that had potential to educate and entertain in a doable manner. But nope. Let me just see if I can adjust this. Yeah, there we go. That's collapsed ridge. It's like a sheer 10-foot drop. I wonder what caused that. Possibly the river was bigger or has changed course several times. You can see how muddy and flat it is down there. That's nature for you. So I was going to go back and film that path around the big fallen tree, but you know, I think you people out there already know. I've got to stop saying guys, because we're increasing our diversity day by day. And the reason you haven't seen any running videos is because I haven't really done any running in the past 3 or 4 weeks. I need to get back into that come Monday when I start week 21. And I think I'm going to be starting phase 2, which is going to be a bit more skills oriented and getting your house in order. I have been watching Marie Kondo, and I think she has a good way of getting tidy, because I think one of the things we do definitely have a problem with is untidiness. I don't recommend being minimalist. You can't be a prepper and be minimalist, but you can be tidier. So I'm paying attention to Ms. Kondo, and I will try and boil it down to something that will fit on a t-shirt. It's kind of important. So I think I have it pat, and I will be demonstrating it. I think she's got a good eye for stuff. So, that's the end. I've just gone for a wander. Tried not to get too depressed. There are gaps. We can inhabit them. We can become better than we were. And, you know, I want Urban Agoge to be like a holistic thing where we learn useful stuff that will fit in a very small book. I might be bringing out a diary. Wow. I don't know if you saw that. The wasp's certainly covered with something. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to leave it there for today. Hopefully we'll get another video out tomorrow. I've got to rebuild the discipline of shooting a video every day, and I'm going to try and do that. And then Monday, hopefully I will have come up with a series of exercises that will possibly take the place of the army exercise regimen. I think if you're doing a little bit every day or every other day, you're going to get fit just as well. I think that the army would be doing a hell of a lot more physically demanding work outside of the exercise. I've already proved that I would get into selection, so if you were living the lifestyle of an army recruit, you would be able to do all those things. So yeah, and you'd also be ingesting about 3 to 4,000 calories a day just to keep up with that, and that's why it was destroying me. There just wasn't enough bulk. And I'm not going to start drinking whey powder or stuff like that. That's stupid. I really don't fancy that. I've got better things to do with my life than, you know, muck around with the chemical composition of my body. So what we're after is fitness without extremes. I do not want necessarily to be a bodybuilder, and that's what that would turn into. Although, definitely thinking of starting to incorporate weight work. So if you are interested in keeping up with that, just get yourself a cheap 20 quid weight set. I think mine costs £19. I've got some dumbbells. I'll be working on my upper arms, and I'll be letting the running take care of my legs, because I don't want to weigh so much. I still want to carry on losing a bit more weight, but yeah, that's working. So yeah, maybe we'll move forward. So yeah, so meditation done this morning, check. Bed made, check. Water drunk, check. Out in the woods for a bit of exercise, check. So yeah, so as always, thanks for watching. Do take care.